What if I told you that the moment he showered you with attention wasn't love at all, but a calculated psychological weapon? Most women mistake love bombing for genuine affection, and by the time they realize the difference, they're already emotionally trapped. The truth is, there's a dark psychological trigger that makes men either fall deeply in love or strategically manipulate you into obsession. Today, I'm going to reveal the exact difference between a man who's genuinely falling for you and one who's using dark psychology to control you. This secret has been whispered in psychology circles for decades, but never explained this clearly. By the end of this video, you'll never look at early relationship intensity the same way again. Are you ready to see the truth? Love bombing is the nuclear weapon of emotional manipulation, and it's more common than you think. It starts with excessive flattery, constant texting, expensive gifts, and declarations of love within the first few weeks. Your brain gets flooded with dopamine and oxytocin, the same chemicals released during drug addiction. This isn't an accident, it's a deliberate psychological strategy used by narcissists and manipulators. They create an artificial high so intense that when they eventually withdraw, you'll do anything to get that feeling back. The scariest part? It feels identical to genuine intense attraction in the beginning. But there's one crucial difference that most people miss, and I'm about to show you exactly what it is. Here's the psychological trigger that separates manipulation from real love. Genuine affection builds gradually and respects boundaries. A man who's truly falling in love will show consistent interest, but he'll also give you space to breathe and think. He asks questions and actually remembers your answers. Love bombers, on the other hand, move at warp speed because they're creating dependency, not connection. They'll text you 50 times a day, demand your constant attention, and make you feel guilty for having a life outside of them. The genuine man falls in love with who you are. The manipulator falls in love with how you make him feel. This distinction is everything, and most dating advice completely misses this nuance. Now let's talk about the mirror test, a powerful psychological tool to detect love bombing. When you share something about yourself, does he mirror your emotions authentically, or does he always one-up your story? Genuine affection involves emotional reciprocity and validation. A man truly falling for you will celebrate your wins without making them about him. But a love bomber will constantly redirect attention back to himself or make grand gestures to overshadow your moments. Watch how he reacts when you set a small boundary, like saying you need a night to yourself. A healthy man respects it. A love bomber makes you feel guilty, claims you don't care about him, or intensifies his pursuit. This reaction pattern reveals everything about his true intentions. The speed of intimacy is another critical red flag that most women ignore. Love bombers push for deep emotional and physical intimacy immediately because they're creating artificial closeness. They'll share traumatic stories, make you their therapist, and position themselves as your soulmate within days. This violates the natural psychological timeline of attachment formation. Real love develops through consistent, repeated positive interactions over time, what psychologists call gradual investment theory. When a man shares his deepest secrets on date 2, he's not being vulnerable, he's creating a false sense of reciprocal intimacy. You feel obligated to match his disclosure level, and suddenly you've shared things you normally wouldn't. This is strategic emotional manipulation designed to accelerate bonding artificially. Here's where it gets really dark. Love bombers study your emotional wounds. They listen carefully to your past relationship pain, your insecurities, and your deepest desires. Then they become the perfect antidote to everything that hurt you before. If your ex never complimented you, suddenly this guy can't stop praising you. If your father was emotionally unavailable, he's overwhelmingly present. This isn't coincidence, it's psychological profiling. A man with genuine affection will naturally compliment your needs, but he won't perform a character specifically designed to fill your voids. The difference is authenticity versus performance. One is sustainable, the other is a mask that will eventually slip, leaving you devastated and confused about what went wrong. Let's discuss the isolation pattern that always accompanies love bombing. A manipulator will subtly criticize your friends, question your family's intentions, and monopolize your time. He'll make you feel like no one understands your connection the way he does. This is textbook cult psychology applied to romantic relationships. Genuine love encourages your other relationships to flourish because secure men aren't threatened by your support system. They want you to have a full, rich life because that makes you happier and more interesting. The love bomber needs you isolated because his manipulation only works when you don't have outside perspectives challenging the fantasy he's constructed. If you find yourself defending him constantly to people who care about you, that's a massive warning sign you're being psychologically manipulated. Now for the psychological trigger that actually makes men fall in genuine love: consistent, unpredictable positive reinforcement paired with maintained mystery. This isn't manipulation, it's understanding attraction psychology. When you're authentically engaged but not always available, when you're warm but maintain standards, you trigger the brain's reward uncertainty system. This is the opposite of love bombing's overwhelming consistency. Real attraction builds when he has to invest effort but gets genuine reward. You're not playing games, you're simply having a full life that he wants to be part of. The man who falls in love this way stays in love because the foundation is his genuine desire to earn your continued interest, not your dependency on his validation. Here's the devaluation phase that always follows love bombing, and why it's so psychologically devastating. Once the love bomber has you emotionally hooked, the mask drops. The constant attention stops. The compliments turn to criticism. This isn't him getting comfortable, it's the planned second phase of manipulation. Your brain, now addicted to the dopamine hits he provided, goes into withdrawal. You'll try desperately to get back to the beginning, changing yourself, walking on eggshells, accepting unacceptable behavior. This is exactly what he engineered. Meanwhile, a man with genuine affection shows consistency. He doesn't love bomb then devalue. His interest might settle from infatuation to stable love, but it doesn't transform into cruelty. The emotional experience moves from exciting to comfortable, not from euphoric to traumatic. Let's talk about the future faking technique that love bombers use masterfully. He talks about marriage, kids, growing old together, all within weeks or months. He's painting elaborate future scenarios to create investment in a fantasy. This triggers your brain's planning centers and creates false memory formation of a future that doesn't exist yet. Psychologically, you've already lived parts of this life in your mind, making it harder to leave when reality doesn't match. A man genuinely falling in love discusses the future, but he does it in measured, realistic ways. He says, "I'd love to travel with you someday," not "I've already picked out our honeymoon destination." The difference is possibility versus presumption. One respects your agency, the other assumes your commitment before you've given it. The comeback hoovering phase is where love bombers prove they never loved you, they loved controlling you. After the devaluation, when you finally leave, suddenly he's back to the beginning. The love bombing returns with intensity. Apologies, promises, maybe even therapy suggestions. This isn't change, it's strategic re-engagement. Your brain remembers that initial high and desperately wants to believe it's real this time. But psychological research shows that without extensive therapy, personality-disordered individuals rarely change. A man with genuine affection doesn't need to hoover because he never devalued you in the first place. His love shows consistency through disagreements and challenges. He grows with you, not against you. If you're experiencing this cycle, you're not in a relationship, you're in a psychological experiment where you're the subject. Here's how to protect yourself and recognize genuine affection moving forward. First, slow everything down deliberately. If he's genuine, he'll respect your pace. Second, maintain your boundaries and watch his reactions, they reveal character. Third, keep your support system close and listen to their concerns. Fourth, trust your gut when something feels too good to be true. Your subconscious often detects manipulation before your conscious mind accepts it. Real love feels peaceful with moments of excitement, not constantly intense and chaotic. It builds you up without tearing others down. It challenges you to grow without criticizing who you are. The man who genuinely falls for you wants to add to your life, not become your entire life. Remember this, you don't need to be love-bombed to be loved. Genuine affection is quieter, steadier, and infinitely more valuable. The ultimate truth about attraction psychology is that real love requires two whole people, not one person filling another's emptiness. Love bombing works because it promises to complete you, to fix everything that's been broken. But genuine affection invites you to complete yourself while choosing to share your life. The psychological trigger that makes men fall in genuine love isn't manipulation or strategy, it's meeting a woman who knows her worth and doesn't need external validation to feel whole. That's the secret they don't want you to know. When you stop looking for someone to complete you and start looking for someone to complement you, everything changes. You become immune to love bombing because you're no longer seeking that intensity to fill a void. And ironically, that's when you attract men capable of genuine, lasting love. Now you know the difference. Use this knowledge wisely.